A very, very good evening to you. Welcome once again to Obinna Show Live. If you haven't been with us during the day, you should make a point of catching up with those episodes. We've interviewed a couple of interesting personalities today, and we're still going until probably 2 a.m., like we always do every Monday. Thank you so much for the subscription and the support that you guys are showing the show. We cannot do this without you guys. We are a family, and we appreciate your support. Mnatupatia muendelee na moyo huo huo. That is why for every episode that we do, we keep bringing for you some motivational conversation, some inspirational conversation, and once in a while, we bring you some intriguing conversations, like the one that just ended. Yes, the couple that they are expecting a baby, but they've said they're not going to be naming their children any African names. Koleza ni kwa nini, so go and catch up with that one as well. Now, for this particular episode, I'm interviewing a gentleman who is not only celebrated, is spoken about, and also feared with very many journalists, including myself. So keep me in your prayers. Nataka muniombe, muniweke kwa maombi, because today is going to be a tough one for me. This one is one for the books, and I'm very, very grateful that he honored the invite and he came. Now to make us, as a class is in session. The lecture is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Obinna family, allow me to introduce the General, Miguna. Karibu.
Wow, Obinna.
Yes.
Nothing to fear. I'm not going to bite you.
Now I can breathe.
I'm not going to bite you, my friend.
Nimefanya research. You see the way last minute watu wanaangalia some file gani? Hey. But in person, actually, he's a very chilled gentleman. Me, I've always seen you unleashing missiles back, like, eh.
Because when people are unleashing missiles at you, you have to fire back.
You have to defend.
Of course, you have to fire back. You fire back not for the intentions of whatever. You want to fall somebody has to fall down.
Okay.
But
But today,
survive.
we are not firing any missiles.
No missiles.
At least not this direction.
No need for missiles.
No need for missiles.
Yeah. But if a missile is fired, be guaranteed that
it will be retaliated with equal measure.
no, with multiple measures. So for sure.
Okay, now I can breathe. Our people had really waited for you. Sema Miguna inside the house, Miguna. Niniwasema kwa Obinna amechange. I had to. Yes, I had to, because this one, mambo imechemuka. Karibu sana Obinna Show Live. This is a platform that myself and this young gentleman you see over here, and a lady who is called Demo Facebook, we are trying to change lives in the best way we know how.
I wish you all the best. I think
Yes.
you're doing a good job.
Thank you. When I invited you, I told you, my platform is not a political show. Ulinipea lecture.
No, I just told you everything is political.
Okay. From the food.
This show is political, the food is political, the questions you ask are political,
Okay.
the taxes you pay are political. There isn't anything that is not political.
Hata maombi.
It just depends on how people view it.
Okay.
And I told you that, a lot of people are focused on economics, but they forget there is political economy,
Yeah.
which is actually bigger than economics.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Everything is political.
everything is political. And without sorting out the political questions, you can't sort out society.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the main
guys,
things are politics,
Yes.
social issues, cultural issues, economic issues. And I put economics last
Okay.
because it is the least important. A lot of people think it is the most important.
Economics.
Yes, the least.
So number
Because
one.
once you sort out these things, the economy resolves itself very nicely.
Okay. Okay.
See, a lot of Kenyans' problems are actually cultural confusions and social crises, which if you resolve, a lot of these issues are gone.
Okay. Wow. Lesson imeanza. I told you guys, get your books. So welcome to the political show. You are from Ahero.
I'm from Kano Plains. The clan is called Kano. Ahero is a town, a colonial town. So you see, no Luo man is from a town. You are from a clan. And my clan is Kano.
Okay.
No is the ancestor of all those clans including the ones where Ahero is.
Okay.
Yes.
So no Luo man should say they are from Kisumu?
No.
Aja Kisumu,
Nobody.
Aja Kisumu.
No. Ja Kisumu. Kisumu is a clan. So if you say Kisumu, yes, you can be from Kisumu because it is a clan. Kisumu is a town. It's a city.
Okay.
Yes.
And the guys, like let's say Kikuyus, say
They are very clear about their clans too.
okay.
Remember the daughters of Mumbi? They know.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I get it.
They never
now
confuse it with Muranga. They never confuse it with Nyeri. They know who the daughters are.
Okay,
And their clans are based on those daughters.
alrighty.
Yeah.
Now that's very clear. So Jaka Black. Yeah, but my mom is actually from Kano. So you're my uncle. So I'm hosting my uncle. So be kind. Okay, so now that that is out of the way, now let's get into the fireworks. You're Kenyan Canadian, not Canadian Kenyan.
I'm a Kenyan without a hyphen. Kenyan without a hyphen.
Your passport is Kenyan.
Of course.
Went to school in Kenya, finished
Everything in Kenya, except for university I finished abroad because Moi decided that he did not want us around. He did not want people who questioned him. He did not want people who interrogated his administration, his tyrannical, dictatorial administration.
Okay.
He did not want people who demanded rights. He did not want Kenyans who wanted the society to be transformed and to become more democratic. So he kicked us out and forced us into exile, and I was one of them. So I finished my university education in Canada. But that doesn't make me a Canadian, because if it did, then all the Kenyans that have studied abroad would also have to say that they belong to those countries where they studied,
Okay.
including Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who studied in Makerere.
Okay.
And Jomo Kenyatta, who lived in Britain for a very long time and never traveled on a Kenyan passport, traveled on the British colonial passport. Remember, after Jomo became president and even prime minister, he never left Kenya. Never traveled once outside Kenya.
Why is
But
that?
before then, I think he probably feared flying.
But he had flown before.
Yes, and you become, I don't know, maybe he flew because he had to. Actually, he did not fly. Let me correct that. When Jomo Kenyatta went to Britain, he went by ship. Remember, there were no flights to London. So it may well be that other than probably flying in Europe, and there's no guarantee he did fly in Europe, he may have traveled by ship then.
Okay.
Jomo Kenyatta could be the only president in Africa who never flew.
Okay. So that one out of the way, you are Kenyan, you went to exile. Sasa wewe ulijificha huko.
No.
But
How
that
do
is
you
exile.
jificha?
Si exile is kujificha.
No. When I was exiled, did I sneak out? For example, the
You
one
were
that
kicked
happened.
out.
Yeah, they force you out.
Okay.
You know, cowards always force those that they fear out.
So when this last one happened, the one that we all know, the I'm not
Yes.
boarding one,
No,
that
it's
one,
not about I'm not boarding. The one where they tried to force me out, and initially I refused. And then eventually they simply put me in the plane by force.
so they had asked you initially, Toka.
No, they tried to push me by force into a plane.
No, before the plane pushing.
They did
Are
not tell me where they were taking me. They just came and took me to the airport and put me there waiting for hours until the flight that they tried to force me into. Then when that time came, they surrounded me with guns and pushed me physically into the plane. Didn't you hear behind them shouting?
And there was a lot of commotion. They
Right,
even tore
and
your
there were a lot
clothes.
of guns.
Yeah.
But of course, the Kenyan media, being what it is, decided not to show the guns. Their camera was focused on me, not the guns pointed at me, which is ridiculous because they should have been showing the country the guns.
No, they're showing the news.
And I told them, no,
You are the
the
news.
guns are the news. Because how did I end up there? I ended up there because people came and broke into my home using explosives, abducted me, and kept me in detention, incommunicado, without access to anyone for 6 days. So how come these questions are never asked? Who are these people? What was their intention? Why didn't they take me to court? If somebody has committed a crime, you actually charge them and take them to court. In 1982, when they accused Raila Odinga of trying to overthrow the government, they took him to court. Dedan Kimathi was taken to court. Ochuka Ezekiel, who led the coup in 1982, was taken to court before he was hanged. Everybody was taken to court. How come I was not taken to court? So they feared me more than the British feared all those people, and more than Moi feared Raila Odinga. Right? The question you should be asking is why?
You are movement, because by the time they were even telling them not body institution came, everybody was following what the general says. You swore in Baba.
I don't call him Baba. I swore in Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yes.
You swore in
Raila Amolo Odinga.
Prime
He's not your
Minister.
father. Don't denounce your father. You have a father.
But you can have more than one.
No, you have only one father. Your DNA traces directly to your father.
So you don't
not to
believe in
Raila
the
Odinga.
Baba name?
He isn't Baba.
Okay. Prime Minister.
I only call two people Baba. The God and my father.
Okay.
Nobody else deserves that title.
Okay.
Yeah.
His Excellency, the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga.
It's Raila Amolo Odinga. Titles are not names.
Okay. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Which most of us were just like, treason, treason, this is going to be it.
How is it treasonable?
You're swearing in another president, there was another president.
There was no president. First of all, I didn't recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as president, and I have never done so. As far as I'm concerned, Uhuru Kenyatta was an illegitimate president. He was not legitimately elected. He imposed himself on power. Twice. He did not win the 2013 election, and he did not win the 2017 election. That's a fact. You see, the reason they couldn't take me to court, because they knew they couldn't prove Uhuru won if I was confronted with that question. They could not bring that question to me because they knew I would be able to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that Uhuru Kenyatta was not a legitimate president.
Okay.
He was an imposter. He should be the one charged with treason.
So when you did the swearing in, you recognized Raila as the president.
Correct, he was the president. And up to now, I believe he's the one who won the election. Unfortunately, Raila is so cowardly, ran away from his own power. I gave him the power, which he deserved, because he won an election. But the cowardly, greedy man ran away from it and recognized an illegitimate imposter. See, that's the tragedy of Africa. Had Raila refused to surrender, we would have complete democracy in Kenya. Elections would never be questioned. Nobody would say, oh, were these elections legitimate? People would recognize the results because we would have put an end to it. But because we did not put an end to it, that's why he's still making noise, nyef nyef. If he had done what I told him to do, he would not be crying on the streets today. Let him cry very loudly.
So you believe if Raila stuck to his guns right now, we'd be having Raila as a president?
No, I said we would have legitimate democracy
Okay.
that everybody recognizes. And if you have elections, nobody would say, my election, my victory was stolen. No. People would recognize the results because we would have ended electoral injustice. That was my purpose. I wanted to end electoral injustice. which we have had since 1964. Kenyatta was never elected.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't
run us back that time.
People don't recognize the fact that in 1964, Kenya was a parliamentary state. It was not a presidential system. And KANU, as a party, won the election and KADU lost. Kenya African Democratic Union lost. And because KANU won, the leader of KANU became prime minister. He was not elected. Kenyans elected KANU, not Kenyatta.
The party.
So once Kenyatta became prime minister, in 1964, he decided to transform himself into a president without an election. There was no election in 1964. There was no general election. And there ought to have been. That was the birth of tyrannical and democratic governance in Kenya. Because whenever you're changing a constitution and bringing in a new order, you need to have either a referendum where universal suffrage prevails, or you have one man or one woman vote where people decide which direction they took. But this did not happen. So Kenyatta, people woke up one day and Kenyatta was president. Then he decided through choreography with Jaramogi and Tom Mboya to create a one-party state. They made KANU cross the floor in parliament and join, KADU joined KANU. And they merged into one party called KANU. So Kenya became de facto one-party state. There was no opposition. That was the beginning of the problems. And it took us from that time up to 2002 to correct that situation. Once that situation was corrected, we should never have reverted back to where we were before. But we did. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta is exiling me with Raila Odinga, we were worse than 1964, 1966. Because even though Jomo Kenyatta detained Jaramogi, banned KPU, and detained his colleagues, he never exiled them. He never told them, Jaramogi, you went to school in Makerere, therefore you are a Ugandan. He didn't say that. So, but look at what Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga did. They said, I'm not a Kenyan. And they knew I was a Kenyan. I ran for elections in Kenya in 2017. I tried to vie in 2007. I was his advisor for 3 years. How in the world did I turn into something else? The passport they said was not mine. They issued to me. And I traveled all over the world with it. I went to China, I went to the US, I went to Canada, I went to many countries using the same passport they said was illegal. So how come these countries did not see this passport as not being legitimate? In anybody's mind, does Kenya have more sophisticated equipment than the United States of America to be able to detect what is fake?
So basically that was serving a purpose then.
They feared me. They feared me and the National Revolutionary Movement, the NRM. They feared it, right? But why would Raila fear movement he helped create and that he was a member of? Right? Raila is the one who declared to the country the formation of NRM and said the National Rainbow Coalition had transformed itself into NRM. He said it. But like he did with other things before, he ran away from it. Remember how 1982 did not come out to be successful? The same Raila Odinga, a coward, betrayed his comrades. The same way he betrayed me.
Betrayed his comrades?
They were hanged, he was not. Why? Have you ever wondered why Raila was not hanged and Ochuka was? Ochuka was simply a senior private in the army, in the Air Force, right? So who could have been the leader of that movement? A private in the army or Raila Odinga, the son of Jaramogi? Who had the money to fund the coup? Ochuka, private, was earning less than 10 100,000 shillings could actually do a coup? Have you guys wondered? But he was hanged.
Wow.
Oriwahongo was hanged. Ogido Bon was hanged. Many others, junior officers were hanged. Raila Odinga survived. How? Ask yourself. How was Raila saved? What saved him? Because he betrayed his comrades, just like he betrayed me. I was going to be killed just like Musandu was killed, right? In 2018.
Yeah.
When they came at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, police don't arrest people at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, right? They could have come during daytime, correct? Or they could have waited until morning, right? They didn't. They could have knocked. They didn't. What did they do? An explosive. They bombed their way through.
It was not a tear gas canister?
How does a tear gas explode steel and break it into pieces and give you access to a house which is sealed off by, good strong steel? My house was properly protected. They got in. You went, the media went there. Yeah. You saw the pictures. The metal was crushed, right?
So you believed Raila was the one who made this happen to you?
Of course, my friend. Did he condemn it? Did he go to my home to see? He rushed to Jimmy Wanjigi's home just a few months before, when Jimmy Wanjigi was just threatened with an arrest. Raila slept there for 2 days. Jimmy Wanjigi, who is not a revolutionary, who has never fought for anybody, who has never stood up for anything. Jimmy Wanjigi, the baron, okay, the dealer. Raila stayed in his house for 2 days. When did Jimmy Wanjigi stand for change in this country?
Right now, he is campaigning with he's going to run for presidency.
Did he get his degree? Has he graduated from Daystar? Have you seen?
No.
The media would have covered his graduation ceremony, right? Chebukati said, you don't have a degree. Show us your degree. He couldn't. The man spent 4 years in Canada, came back without a degree. Right? He has spent I don't know how many years at Daystar, no degree. So who is going to clear him?
Kenya. Let's come
My
back
friend, you guys like, you just like drama.
Let's come a bit to the Raila story. You said you went to Wanjigi's place when Wanjigi had a situation. What if the reason why he did not come to your place because of the situationship you guys have had in the past?
What past? We were together. We were together.
And before this together.
No, forget about before this together.
Vurugu.
No, that's not true. You see, Obinna, what people don't understand and what people refuse to acknowledge is that I helped Raila become prime minister in 2007, right?
Okay.
Together with others. It was not me who became prime minister, it was him. But who made him prime minister? People like us, right? And once he became prime minister, I became his advisor. From the time I was his advisor, 2009 to 2011, there was no vurugu. There was no controversy. There was no one scandal. There was no negative headline news about me. So how come the so-called vurugu only come in when Raila betrays me? That was the first betrayal. Raila told me to write an article about Isaac Hassan, the former chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And I did, on instruction. Once the article came, and you know I don't write tepid articles, it came strongly like my articles always come.
Yeah, definitely.
And everybody was scurrying and running away and making noise, right? Raila then turned around and suspended me because I wrote the article, which he told me to write. He's the one who instructed me to write the article. I have it in writing. Once I wrote the article, I gave him to approve, and he approved. I have that in writing. The article came out, and then he accused me of misrepresenting the office of the Prime Minister and suspended me on the basis of that article. That's why I call him a conman. That's what a conman does. He sends you to fetch water, you bring water, then you say you stole the water.
Wow. We're getting receipts.
But the fact is, that's actually what happened. So there was no vurugu. There was no dispute. There was no disagreement.
People assume there was disagreement. You are
Over
a traitor.
what?
A lot of people, the Raila diehards, were like, oh, Miguna, now apana, huyu takikani ukame to betray. But now,
but Obinna,
nobody cleared the air like this.
Just before then, I was praised by the same people. When the constitutional review process was happening, I was his representative, I was his negotiator, and for the party, I was in the strategy team. There was no problem. When I was his advisor, when we went to Kilaguni, they praised me. When we went to Mombasa, they praised me. When we went to Naivasha, they praised me. They praised me all over. It's the conman who changed everything and now started saying, I'm a problem. He said, I was trying to take the party away from him. How? I was never interested in the party. I had not declared my intentions to run for president, right? I did not hold any party position. I never did. So I decided to leave his party alone. I resigned and left the party. In 2017, he came begging me to help him fight Uhuru. Yes, he did.
Baba, Raila.
In front of everybody. Go ask Weta, go ask Mudavadi, go ask Kalonzo, go ask any of them. He literally begged me. Please. Yes.
I'm begging you.
And he confessed, he said, I will not betray you again. In front of everybody, including all the MPs. Yes, in his office. Raila did. And I went there with a lawyer. Who was there? No, even a lawyer needs a lawyer.
As a lawyer got a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay.
As a witness.
Oh, it was as a witness.
Yes.
That is when you accepted, you said, Aya.
Okay, now that you have confessed, you said you betrayed me, and you say you're not going to betray me again, and you're not going to surrender, and you're ready for us to now do what I know best. Let's go.
You are back again as an advisor.
No,
I was now strategy.
No, I was now the general of the NRM.
Next to him,
trying to twanga these people so that we could remove them. And I was ready. But the moment I swore him in and I told him, now read the speech so that you can give the country a way forward, Raila literally ran away from Uhuru Park, didn't you see? It did not last for 30 minutes. Raila read the speech for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and then get into the car and got away from the Uhuru Park.
So that was not the full speech that you wrote?
No, he did not read any speech. He took the oath and ran away. Or Obinna, you don't remember. You know, a lot of people don't remember these things. Ask yourself the question, did Raila stay at Uhuru Park? No. Did he give a speech? There was no speech.
But his life was in danger.
What danger?
Maybe, because that time there was a lot of, wametuma watu nini nini.
Obinna, focus. Please, focus. First of all, Obinna, it was the 30th, right, of January.
Okay.
Was it not?
Yes.
2018. How many people were in Uhuru Park? Probably 1 million. Could anybody shoot 1 million people? You are talking amidst 1 million people, all of them supporting you. Who could threaten you when you are in the midst of 1 million people? You have to be a super coward to feel threatened inside 1 million of your supporters. At Uhuru Park, the police had left.
There was no police.
There was no police. There was no threat. We were just alone. Everybody was happy. People were singing. People were dancing. How could that be threatening? It was a nice, super revolutionary spirit.
So you feel it was betrayal, ama it was
He
payoff?
had already sold off.
Oh, wow.
And he had already betrayed us, but I didn't know. He had already arranged with Uhuru to arrest me before the event so that he would not show up, so that there would be excuse that the person who was supposed to swear him in has been arrested, so we call it off. And I circumvented it. They didn't know where I slept. They just saw me at the NTV in the morning. Then I went to the Intercon. They surrounded the Intercon to arrest me, the flying squad. Then I called the NRM youth, who surrounded them at the Intercon. It is a movie. The youth came and surrounded them at the Intercon, and I went with the youth to Uhuru Park, and they retreated because you know how many flying squad were there? Around 50. So, and how many youth were there? Thousands. So they couldn't, even with bare hands, they could not fight the youth.
So you guys marched to Uhuru Park?
Uhuru Park. Raila was not at Uhuru Park when I was there. It was 10 o'clock. I didn't know where he was. They were all hiding at Dusit Hotel with Joho, Orengo, all of them were hiding there. Even David Ndii. They were all hiding at Dusit. The moment they saw that there were so many people at Uhuru Park and Miguna was alone with them, they got scared. The National Intelligence Service told them that if you don't go, Miguna is taking the people from you. So they rushed to Uhuru Park. And he came there, I saw him in, and he rushed away again. The idea was that in his rushing away, I would be left behind and I would be taken away. But unfortunately for him, I jumped into one of the cars.
Who got on your convoy?
Yes, I'm in the convoy. He arrives at Karen, I'm with him there. So now I ask him, Jacob, what happened? That's actually exactly my question.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did you run away? Oh, everything went perfect, Janyando. It was perfect, marvelous. It's just the way it is. You see? So I said, how? And you don't have power. You ran away from power, Jacob. What happened? Then he started giving me stories of what things we should do in the coming days. You see? But as you could recall, he did absolutely nothing. So I started my program of removing Uhuru and Ruto at the time. Then he betrayed me. He went back to them, they agreed, he got paid, and he said, take him out.
How do you know he got paid?
I know, he was paid in Tanzania. I have the evidence. Raila was paid in Tanzania.
How much?
50 billion.
Kenya shillings.
Yes, Raila was paid.
So you can be arrested?
Nobody can arrest me.
Oh, so you can be deported?
Nobody. What do you mean? You don't deport a citizen?
So you
No,
can,
no, no.
You can be sent to Canada?
No, let me tell you something. No, but because this is serious. A lot of people don't understand this. If you are a citizen, okay?
Okay.
It means that the only way you can be taken out of your country to another country is on 3 bases. Okay? 1, you are exiled because of political reasons, right?
Okay.
2, you are extradited, meaning another state says, Obinna committed a crime in Nigeria. Here are the charges. We want Obinna to be taken to Nigeria to face charges.
Okay.
The Interpol can arrest you or they can take you to the Nigerian authorities and you could be taken there.
Extradition.
Okay?
Yes.
That is extradition. Yes. They can also do what they normally do to Somalis. Okay? Like these Somalis, they kidnap at night and rendition to another country. There is no judicial process. You see, a deportation is a judicial process which involves a non-citizen.
Okay.
A rendition can be done of a citizen or a non-citizen without extradition, meaning there is no judicial process. You just arrest somebody and take them away. But you cannot deport a citizen. You try a citizen in the country where he has citizenship. So, and even of foreigners, if you have to deport them because they don't have status in your country, you have to go through a judicial process. You give them notice, they appear in court. The court is the one that issues a deportation order. It is that deportation order that gives the state the power to take that person out of the country.
Okay.
Now tell me if any of that happened about me. Number one, I'm a citizen, so you can't deport me. Number two, there was no notice.
No notice, no.
There was no judicial order. There was no. The court order, in fact, said, don't remove him. And they removed me.
A lot of
But
people,
the press that is compromised
Yes.
keep on repeating this word because they were told, probably paid, to say that because they want to just dilute and intoxicate.
paint you as a bad person.
No,
Like
not
you either
necessarily.
deserved.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But just not deal with the issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people normally wonder what happened between your house and when you're in Comunicado and the airport. Kuna mali ulifinywa?
You see, my friend, have you ever been arrested?
Kind of.
Okay. Have you ever been abducted by anyone?
No.
Thugs or police?
No.
So an abduction cannot be a friendly exercise because it's not an arrest. It's not like somebody coming to your house and say, here is a search warrant, read it, and we are given access to do this, this, and that. Come to court on this day. No, they're taking you there by force. Okay. So if somebody is taking you there by force, clearly, this cannot be a civil exercise and a peaceful exercise.
Okay.
Secondly, they don't take you to a police station. They don't charge you. They don't take you to court. They take panya routes. So why are they taking panya routes if it is a legitimate legal exercise? So they take the panya routes and take me to Githunguri. Githunguri is in Kiambu, not in Nairobi County. So if I committed a crime in Nairobi, you charge me in Nairobi, right?
Sure.
You detain me in Nairobi. But Kiambu, where I'm not a resident, and I'm not a Kikuyu, so why are you taking me to Kiambu? There could only be nefarious reasons
Behind it, yeah.
so they take me there without anybody knowing that they took me there. Then they keep me there in Comunicado. I have no access to my family, no access to lawyers, no access to friends, and of course no access to courts. Then that night, Raila pretends to send lawyers to me in Githunguri. How he knew I was there, you should ask him. So they come, and I asked them a simple question. They told me I had been, Justice Wakiaga had ordered that I be released. So I asked them, where is the court order? They didn't have a court order. They didn't carry it. They say, oh, we forgot it in Nairobi. So that I knew right away, there is a problem here. You're a lawyer who went to court. You got an order for my release, and you come to release me without the order?
One job. You had
A simple
one
thing.
job.
Yeah. So they didn't have an order. The second thing that made me realize I've been betrayed, they now tell me, you stay over at Githunguri, we go back to Nairobi, and we'll come for you tomorrow. So I said, okay, this is strange. I'm a lawyer. I got a court order for my client to be released. I'm at the police station where he's detained, but I don't want to go with him. Why?
You have better things to
Now
do.
they're telling me, Mungiki are on the road, rioting, and they would harm me or kill me if I go with them. So the question is, you are from ODM. So these Mungiki are your friends? How come they're not going to kill you and harm you? They're only looking for me, but not you. How? Why? You are at Uhuru Park with me. They saw you there. But they're only looking for Miguna. How come? So I knew I had been betrayed. Then they left. At 10:30 p.m. that night, the abductors came back and took me away to Lari.
Oh, wow.
To a pathetic, horrible condition for 5 days. And I had not been to Lari before. It was cold. It was horrible. I can't describe. So, of course, it's like I'm just thrown in there and forgotten. And then the 5th or maybe 6th day, they came and picked me up. And Kichorochoro again to Embakasi, the container depot police station in Embakasi. Stayed there for one night, and they took me to Kajiado.
Aye.
Not Nairobi.
You're not tourist. Because I'm thinking the airport is
It's
right
not,
here.
it's not tourism. It's not tourism. It's torture. Psychological, emotional, mental, and physical torture.
Were you eating?
In Lari, I did not. I ate once. But here at the depot, they gave me food.
Okay.
All right? Then they took me to Kajiado. Obviously, the Kajiado Magistrates Court had no jurisdiction to preside over the case or their fake charges, and told them so. I told him I'm not taking a plea because this is an inferior court. You can't charge somebody with treason in a magistrate's court. It's basic law, elementary law.
Where?
Right? And the High Court in Nairobi was already having jurisdiction because it had ordered me released. So the magistrates court told them, you have 30 minutes to take him to the Nairobi Milimani High Court. 30 minutes. The thugs drove with me like crazy through the national park, wherever, and ended at the airport. They didn't take me to court. All right?
Wow.
And then forced me out of the country. Now, a lot of people are mixing the two incidents. So this was February the 6th, 2018. So they forced me into the plane and removed me from Kenya. In March 2018, the 26th, I came back to Kenya at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and they blocked my re-entry. Then I called Raila and said, where are you? How come you're not here? And then later on he showed up, drunk like a skunk, and held my hands and said, let's go. And when we were just about to exit, they blocked me again. Kumbe, Raila was talking to Matiang'i, telling him to stop me. As I was talking to the media, and he's there calling, making calls, people could hear him saying that I should not be let in. But here he's pretending that he's with me and helping me to go. You see? Then that is when they came up with the fact that, oh, you didn't have a passport. But you took my passport. They took my Kenyan passport and destroyed it. So how can you say, I don't have a passport and you just took mine, the one I had? It's like saying, I have a phone here. You take it. Then you tell me, Miguna, make a call. Call your wife. I say, okay, give me my phone to call. No, you don't have a phone.
Wow. You've
My friend.
you've been through it all.
Then they put me in a toilet.
This Raila day.
No, yeah, the
See,
airport,
when you're coming in at the
26th.
airport now, yeah.
Yeah, remember they abducted me and they tore my clothes.
Yeah.
That's when they tried to force me into the plane. Remember? That's when Jeff was videotaping. And I refused to board, basically. I told them I'm not going to Dubai because I don't know anybody there. It's not my country of citizenship. I've never lived there. I don't have a job there. I don't have anything there. So I'm not going. So then they decided to detain me at the airport in a small toilet with hot water only.
Oh, so this particular plane that the video was in, you never left with that plane?
No, I never did.
Oh, everybody assumed you went, and people are like, that must have been a very awkward flight.
No, I never did. The captain agreed with me that he had no authority to take me. He asked me, do you want to go? I said no. So he said, okay, I can't take you by force. There was nothing that he could use to take me to any. How could he take me? I mean, you all know. I don't know why people say they were confused. Because after that, my lawyers were in court. The police surrounded the airport. I was detained there. I had a phone. I communicated with the media. I was getting interviewed. People could hear my voice. So I was not anywhere but here in Kenya.
In the toilet at the airport.
Correct. Justice Odunga, Justice Aburili, and the rest, they ordered these people not to remove me from Kenya. And then, on the third day, they wrestled me to the ground, they sedated me, and they took me away unconscious. I regained consciousness in Dubai, at the Dubai International Airport. That's where I regained consciousness. And they took me to Dubai without a passport, without an air ticket, without anything, and just went and dumped me at the airport and left me there. They came back.
Mamuko ko Terminal 15.
I don't know the terminal.
This is a movie. This is a real life movie.
This is more than a movie.
Yeah. Wait, so you don't have a passport? Did you have a phone now in Dubai?
I did.
So simu wamekubeba nayo.
See, they put it in the bag. So I got it when I arrived there. But the bag is all I had.
So who did you call first?
Who did I call first? I called my wife first.
Babe,
to say I'm alive.
Babe Kimeniramba.
You can't say babe.
Mama watoto.
My friend.
Dubai sina kitu.
No, my friend, it's not a joke. I think you should go through some of these tests so that you know, so that you don't joke about it.
I'm trying to cool you down.
Obinna, you should be squeezed a little bit so that you can feel the pain.
Mimi nimeogopa uchungu. Mimi sikimbizani na serikali.
You should feel the pain a little bit so that you don't joke about this matter.
Me, I'm just trying to cool you down kidogo.
But anyway, so I made the calls.
Yes.
People knew where I was. And I asked to be, to go to a hospital. They refused. I asked for toxicology tests. They refused. Obviously, I said, I want to go back to Kenya. They said the only place you can not go to is Kenya.
Chagua kwingine.
Hey, name any country will take you without a visa.
But general hata wewe umefanyiwa hii mambo yote and then now tu Kenya ndio mimi narudi.
Because I wanted to overthrow Uhuru Kenyatta.
Hey, you are very
without any question. I didn't want Uhuru Kenyatta in power one extra day. One extra day.
That's a strong resolve.
Yes, I was ready to die for it. And as far as I'm concerned, I died and came back to life. Because honestly, I was dead. So, what did your fake Baba do when I was removed from Kenya unconscious? He went on holiday in Zanzibar with a slave queen. Do you remember? You all remember. You remember Raila in Zanzibar with a slave queen? No, you must remember. It was all over the social media.
Case.
And there was an interview with the slave queen Evan. They took pictures. And I asked him, how can you do that? You see, people don't understand why God is angry with Raila Odinga, why he has not become president. Because of things he's done to people like us. How does God forgive you? You see? Forget about me. Forget about Miguna. Think about God. How does he forgive you? If you have done to human beings this kind of thing. A human being who saw you as president. The people's president. How do you betray such a person? God can never forgive him.
So you believe that Raila not being president is the hand of God?
It's the hand of everything, including God. Everything is unhappy with him. Our ancestors are very angry. I am very angry, and many of us. and God is angry. God is saying, we cannot forgive you 3 times. Okay? Even if we forgive you about Ochoka. Okay? Even if we forgive you about Odhiambo Mbai. Even if we forgive you about other people. How then do we forgive you about betraying Kenyans? Forget about Miguna. How about Musando? How about Baby Pendo? How about Master Mutinda? How about the thousands of Kenyans that were killed by the security forces in 1992, in 2005, in 2007, in 2008, in 2013, in 2017, in 2018, in 2022, and recently in 2023 when he was doing Maandamano? How does God forget that? The blood that has flown, that has been, the lives that have been wasted, are too many for God to forgive Raila Odinga. So this is a curse. It cannot be. So when I pronounce myself on this issue, it's a very important thing. People have to learn that you don't do unto others what you don't want them to do unto you. And God will bless you. But when you continue to aggress, you continue to betray, you continue to undermine, you continue to victimize, God is tired.
Last election, Raila won.
No, he lost.
Word on the street.
2022, Raila lost clean. This is the only election Raila has lost very clean.
Word on the street is different.
Word on the street is
That Raila won?
No, that's an ignorant word on the street. So let me tell you why Raila lost. And lost clean. Number one, where are the main voting blocks in Kenya? Start there, demographically. Start with science, start with figures. It can't lie. So, number one, the turnout of Luos in the election was 45%, not 50. Raila knows that. So you start there. So your base voted 45% because they are tired of you. They couldn't show up even 50%. 2, Kikuyu as a constituency voted against you. Kalenjins as a constituency voted against you. Lawyers as a constituency largely voted against you. The other Nilotic communities and other small communities voted against you. The Turkana voted against you. The Pokot voted against you. The Somali voted against you. All the others voted against you. So the only votes you got, 45% of Luos, maybe 45% of Kambas, and maybe 50% of the coast. It can't win you an election. Then the second plank, Raila used to be the agent of change. That is how we marketed him. That is how the progressive sections on pockets of Kenya supported him. The people who fought in the second liberation, the university lecturers, the writers, the artists, these people who are always questioning the system, they were now against Raila because they were asking, you're supporting Uhuru Kenyatta who has tortured people, who was dropping bodies in River Yala, who killed Musando, who did this. How could you do this? People were asking. Why would we support you if you betrayed all of these people? So Raila could not win. The West was tired of him. He was too inconsistent, too unreliable, too weak, too cowardly. So even the international community abandoned him. So tell me how he was going to be president. You don't have international community on your side. You don't have the media on your side, except Githeri media. You don't have the progressive forces on your side. You don't have the main voting blocks on your side. So he believed the system was going to just steal the vote for him. Why? The system only steals the vote for somebody they know will take power and not leave power. Like Miguna. If I sit there, I don't leave it. So they know the people that will take power, not leave it. So they say this one will be threatened even with Urujre, and he will leave power. You know Urujre? It's a sling.
A lot of people are feeling like you have a grudge with the Baba.
No, there's no grudge.
Saying,
all these things I'm saying, Obinna, are facts. You know, if you want to test them, ask a question, challenge them. Bring your set of data and facts and let's test them. Let's see where facts lie. I will challenge you to get me the source of your facts. I was there with him. So a lot of these things were happening in my presence.
Real time.
Yeah. So I can't lie about them. That is why when I answer these questions, it comes like second nature. I can't even think about them because it comes like the flash floods.
Wow, what an appropriate example. Do you believe Raila will ever be president? Let's say if he decides to run in 2027.
I've given that answer many times. No.
Not
His
gonna
time
happen.
is up. As a matter of fact, it's even a waste of time to discuss the issue.
But now he's in the AU.
Where?
Chairperson.
No. When did they vote?
He's going to scoop it like...
Well, let's see. But so what? AU is not the presidency. It sits in Addis Ababa.
But I'll be
It's
the
like the
president
new
of
Council of
Africa.
Elders. AUC is like the new Council of Elders.
No, the diehards are feeling he's going to be the president of Africa.
How?
See,
My
now he's
friend,
in charge of...
Africa is not a country.
Like, now from a country, now the whole continent, imagine.
My
African Union.
So do you know the
Dictator.
AUC chairman right now? Do you know his name? So how come you don't know the president of Africa right now that he's going to replace? If he was that important, right, we would know his name. You don't even know his name. But when was the last time he came to Nairobi as the president of Africa and he was welcomed? He was welcomed at the airport by President Ruto.
It's because it's not our business. We don't care. He's married from now.
So only Raila is the president.
Because we care about
The
this
current
now.
one is not. And we don't care where he's from. My friend, he will not even be able to hire his driver. Even his driver. He can't hire. He has no budget to hire his own driver as the president of Africa. It's like saying Obinna is the president of comedy in Kenya. Obinna, where will that get you? So now you have this young man lined up. You are checking the guard of honor. The guard of honor of comedians with Eric Omondi following you behind. Very serious.
Tunakagua gwaride. Gwaride of jokes.
So no.
Where?
So that one is comedy.
Okay. Aki, usually, hey you, Unaita, it's fine. Let's before we conclude this story for Baba and deportation and everything. Okay, and being exiled. You came back and it was on the news that President Ruto is the one who allowed you to come back home.
President Ruto obeyed court orders. He had no choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to come back regardless because I was not going to die in exile.
Okay.
And remember, I told them if Raila became president, if by the unforeseen circumstance that Satan from wherever Satan resides came back and imposed him as president, I would never come back to Kenya. I would never have come back.
But
I knew he would never be. And I made sure he was not. I fought like crazy with others, and he's not.
Against Raila?
Don't you see? I'm here. They blocked me out. I'm right here.
So you appreciate President Ruto for...
No. He obeyed a court order. It's not a favor.
Okay, where was your passport? Walikuletea ile ama ulitumia ingine?
They gave me.
Oh,
They
kuja
gave me a
passport
new
ndio
one.
hii. Oh.
The other one was destroyed. Remember? Uhuru punched holes in it. With Raila Odinga, they punched holes.
Yani, Baba is getting stray bullets.
He did.
Uhuru, but with-
No, he did. They both did. They were together in it.
Okay.
My friend, Raila felt threatened for no reason. You see, when you become an old man, even you will become an old man one day, and hopefully you have children.
Yes, I do.
It comes a time when you have to pass the torch to your children, right?
Okay.
It's just the way things are. You can't cling to things like a truly for life.
Actually just got his stray bullet.
Yeah. They get things and they want to cling to them for life, right?
Yeah.
So that is a no-no. You see, in the United States, you can't run more than twice. Mostly you run for the first time and you leave. But there are those that have run a second time.
Yeah.
After you fail a second time, you don't run again. But this one, how many times, man? Enough.
Like Kamua.
So he should, you know, Raila was in detention when I was in Form 2. Form 2, secondary school. And the man is still there with us. Like, what is wrong with him? You know, you are capable of being a president. The president of Senegal is your age. Yeah. People should think about these things. Eh?
Okay.
So why is a 90-year-old still, you know, squeaking?
It's nice.
He's almost 90.
Okay. Let's move away from the Raila story. Missing a lawyer.
There's nothing he can do to you. There's no need for fear. I will represent you for free.
But let me just put this out there. I did not say anything. I'm also being lectured. Tunasomewa sisi wote. I want to shift the conversation kidogo. I want to bring us to Nairobi. Because now this is where a lot of people wanted you to take a position and something's happened. We want to talk about Sakaja. We want to talk about Babu Wino. We want to talk about Sonko. We want to talk a little bit about Pasaris as well, because that is the part that a lot of people are speaking about, but we're just going to be passing. Then now let's talk about the floods as well. But a little bit before that, let me hook up my people with some money. Unaweza kunywa kopo la chai ama kopo la maji. So this is a family, and we always say if I get a good plan, I get to hook everybody with it so that at least tunaweza saidiana. So have a job opportunity. All right? There is a restaurant that is just being opened in Kisumu. It is a brand new restaurant, and if you know that you're looking for a job, you should apply for this position. These are the positions that are available. They're looking for a manager. They're looking for receptionist, mixologist, waiter, waitresses, chefs, baristas, DJs, drivers, a pool attendant, swimming pool, sea pool table, housekeepers, and watchmen. It is directly opposite the airport. It is known as the Grand Alton Resort. You should send your CV to the Grand Alton Resort at gmail.com. It should be on the screen. Send your CV over there. Send an email ASAP, because first come, first serve. It is brand new in Kisumu. Unafika pale, unafanya kazi. Na ukifika sema, Obinna sent me. Alafu unaweza angukia opportunity. So they are hiring. Remember, first come, first serve. Changamka nayo. And for the ones who are like, but me, I'm not in Kisumu, you know. Now let me give you a better plan. This, you can do it remotely from wherever you are. They're called Candy Crush. It is a game you get to play. Remember Candy Crush? Yes, you play Candy Crush on your phone, but you're playing it for free. But now this is the only opportunity that you're going to be able to play a crash game. Candy, yeah, it's like candy, but now for cash, but you make some money with your friends. It is not gambling. It is not betting. You're not staking anything. Unacheza two games on delicious, sweet, nini, all of them, but you're playing for money. Your friend puts 10 bob, you put 10 bob, you play each other, you win, you take the 20 shillings. All right, get to download it. The link should be on the description of this video. Okay, get the hang of it. And then later when I come back on the show, towards the end, I'm going to be awarding 2 people with 1,000 bob each, just because we are welcoming you to this brand new invention that you should be experiencing. Whether kucheza games are free. And if you've never seen Candy Cash before, I'm going to play you a video so at least you can get a glimpse of what it is about. CK?
Ready, go. Extra move. Boosters ready. Tiebreaker. Rumble. Now you can play online against players from all over the world.
Alrighty, there you have it. That is Candy Cash. So download it. The link is on the description. They're getting on App Store and the Play Store in about a month's time. They're getting the approval process, but the link is over there. So once you download it, towards the end of the show, I'll tell you what to do, and you're gonna get some money. Okay, then you're gonna send me, and I'm gonna send you your money like that. And finally, we are coming live to you from Samaki on Othaya Road. Hapa ndo kwao, hapa ndo kwetu. This is our home restaurant. Walitusikia tunateseka kutuambia Obinna, come through and have a good time. But since we came here, we discovered they serve the best seafood in town. So if you want to try seafood with your person, you want to bring them on a nice date, I may just want to have a meeting or a ceremony, come to Samaki Kileleshwa on Othaya Road. You come over here, you see the ambience, the level that they've set here, unmatchable. Check out this video if you've never been here. So next time you're here, usikeni kama ni mgeni, unaingia na umejua, oh, this is where you saw the restaurant nini. Check it out. All right, that is Samaki, and also they do deliver. If you've never tried lobster, you've never tried crab, you've never tried any seafood, now menas your seafood, talk to them. The number is on the screen. They're going to deliver for you. I was in Eldoret over the weekend. Kitenge Festival was beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much, Eldoret guys. Thank you for welcoming myself and the celebration. The whole event was a success, and it's thanks to you guys who organized it and also the fans, because hatuwezi entertain watu bila mafans. So asanteni sana. You who's watching, you have an event. You need a premium host. You want people to be entertained. You want people to have a good time. How about you get to book me? And I will come through with them on Facebook as well. Nowadays, yes, we're working together. You want people happy on your event. You want it memorable. You want to have an event that people go like, yo, that was an event and a half. How about you get to book myself, or you get to book them on Facebook, or both of us, or either or. And you're going to get to come. Send us an email, tvobinna@gmail.com, and we'll come and make your event beautiful. All right, let's get back to it. Whew. Are you General, thank you so much for being patient with us and patient with me. Yes, leo pia mimi niko kwa class. You ran for office in Nairobi. Things happened. We saw everything that happened. However, at the moment, we have Sakaja. What do you think of Sakaja? A lot of people are not pleased with the way things are happening.
Sakaja is not just a joke, he's a criminal. Sakaja is is orchestrating the worst governance disaster in the Republic of Kenya. He is the worst performing governor. Nairobi now is being looted. Imagine Sakaja loots more than Sonko and Kidero combined.
Hey.
It's bad. That's how bad it is. Nairobi is very disorganized. Nairobi is dirty, completely filthy. You know, Kidero was a thief, but Sakaja is stealing more than Kidero. Kidero had a system. Even the revenue collection, you knew who was collecting revenue in Nairobi. Right now, the MCS do not even know the revenue collector because he does it himself. He, according to lawyers who are themselves not clean, Donald Kipkorir and the rest, are saying they get calls to pay them billions so that these guys can get a cut of 50%. So it's that bad. You saw the EACC has arrested a number of his officers that he's been using to steal public funds. There are cases currently before the DPP. They have already left the DCI. The DCI wants Sakaja charged, and we're just waiting. He could be charged any day. He is the worst catastrophe in Nairobi City.
Hey.
And the problem is that he's not even qualified. He does not even know what he's doing. He's bought homes and property all over the world. Dubai, London, New York, South Africa, public funds. He spends most of his time abroad than he spends in the city of Nairobi. So, and he doesn't even have qualifications to be governor. He does not have a degree. Remember, the Council of University Education said Sakaja's degree was fake. And he had to be helped by UDA to be a candidate. That was the worst mistake they made. So Sakaja should go home and go to committee and eat maharagwe for a very long time. That's my position on Sakaja.
Okay. People believe that Sonko was a little bit better than Sakaja.
Was much better than Sakaja.
They're saying you need street smart for you to run the county.
You need to have integrity, first of all, to be a leader. Secondly, you need to be competent to be a leader. You need to have a vision. You need to have a plan for the city. Now, these people do not know how to spell plan. They do not know how to spell manifesto. They do not know the meaning of vision. Okay? Sonko basically is a thug, but still better than Sakaja, but a thug. Is a ruffian who never went to school, right? But he's learning in terms of his ability to communicate, his ability to understand is much better than it was before. But Sakaja's daftness is opaque, is impenetrable. All right? So Sakaja's problem is multifaceted.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that Babu Owino will be the solution to replace Sakaja. A lot of people are like Babu for governor, Babu for governor.
Another thug, another criminal, the man who shot DJ Evolve twice. Everybody was seeing it. I want to find a person who can tell me that they did not see Babu shooting Evolve. Babu is a thug who has committed many crimes before. All right? I mean, drama is not governance. Tialala, Ria is not governance. And that's all he knows. This is a drug dealer, a drug taker. We've seen him. He's taped himself snorting cocaine. This is what you call, you want Nairobi to be the headquarters of cocaine?
He stopped. He said he's now clean.
How?
He's not even taking alcohol.
Which rehabilitation center did he attend? We want to see his certificate. When he attended and when they said Babu now has graduated from this place and is clean. Can he take my challenge for us to go for a blood test and let our blood be tested so that we can see the state of his blood? Is he ready to do that? He can't. He's not even disciplined. You know, some of these things you can't force. Do you really see Babu sitting in an office from 8 o'clock to 5? Still, just reading. I don't see that.
But he's well learned.
What?
Yes.
Babu is learned. Because he has a degree.
A couple of them.
No, because he... Do you know how Babu got degrees from the University of Nairobi? No. Threats to lecturers. Threats to lecturers. If you don't give him a degree, what is he going to do? And he has killed so many students. They were just scared. So they passed Babu. Babu knows squat about governance. I don't care what his degrees are. But what comes out of his mouth, it has no depth, has no breadth, has no intellectual sophistication for a governor of Nairobi City. So Babu leave out.
Tim Wanyonyi.
Tim Wanyonyi has substance. You can't compare him to Babu. So him I would give a little bit of a chance. Although he comes with the wrong party, which messes everybody up. Okay?
ODM.
Yes. You see, ODM is a machine of looting. You know, Siaya, they looted Oma Bay, they loot everywhere. And because they have to collect revenue for Raila Odinga. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a revenue collection agency. So that could be a problem. But Tim, I would not dismiss. Even if I ran against him, I would treat him like a worthy opponent. But not these jokers. You know?
Okay. Righty. You, when you guys, when campaigns were happening, the debate was happening, you showed up ready, but now there were also other interviews that you went to that also panned out to be other ways. There's an interview you are with Esther Passaris, and things went south. And people felt there was an issue between you and Esther that you wanted to clear, but you felt Esther was the one who was disrespecting you.
No, Obinna, you see, I don't know why people don't understand this one. So Jeff invited me for a debate.
Okay.
You see, a debate, not an interview.
Okay.
People had declared what they wanted to be in that election. It was a general election, 2017.
Yes.
And at the time, even though she was not qualified to run for governor, she said she was running. She knew she was a pace setter, she was not running. But she said she was running, right? So Jeff invited everyone who had declared their intention to run for governor of Nairobi. So I went. And it happened to be a debate between me and Passaris. And I wanted the debate to be on our policies, on our manifestos, on our vision for Nairobi. But unfortunately, she didn't have policies, she didn't have a manifesto, she didn't have a vision. She was not qualified because she didn't even have a degree. So she couldn't even be cleared. So in order to divert attention from these real issues, she started attacking me, calling me a criminal and I've not committed any crime. So I responded to her. I reminded her of things she said at the Pentagon when we were in ODM together. And I was there. And other people were there. And I told her, do you remember what you said? Right? And she said that was an insult. How is it an insult when I quote what you said? Right? She came already prepared with a libel notice. So how would she have known what I was going to say when she has already drafted the letter with what I purportedly had said before the interview? You see, she came with a letter already written by a lawyer saying Miguna said this, and we have not even appeared for the interview. So how do you know what I'm going to say and I've not even been asked any questions? Because it was concocted. The cartels had met together and said, Esther, you are the one who can take this man down. But you know, Miguna is a Teflon John. You can't take him down that easily. So I didn't go down. She went down in smokes.
Yeah, that was a special moment. That kidogo.
Yeah, you don't fire at me carelessly. Otherwise, you get hurt.
So are you going to run again?
That is too early. It's too early to decide
Okay.
what I'm going to run for.
Okay.
Yeah, or whether I'm going to run.
Okay.
But it's something for me to consider.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying I should run, so I'm considering it.
Okay.
But I think 2 years into we just had an election.
So
I think it's too early for people to start campaigning for things.
Okay.
They should let these guys, do their thing or mess. Let the country realize that you shouldn't be electing thugs. You shouldn't elect inept people. You shouldn't elect thieves. And when the right time comes, hopefully the country will make the right decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of Sifuna, though?
What do you mean? He's
He's
a senator.
Yeah, but...
So why should I say anything about a senator? I'm not interested in becoming a senator of Nairobi. Right?
Okay.
Unless you ask me about a specific thing, I don't think I should just be saying things about people.
No. If he is to be, is he worthy to be elected for even a bigger position?
I mean, he's a Kenyan. He can run, right?
No, running, yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
people-
but election is about voters. It's not about Miguna. I'm not the one who elects. But in terms of academic qualifications, he's qualified. And he's a Kenyan. He has reached the age where he can run for any office, just like me and you.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's not like the other ones you've mentioned. Clearly not. You can't compare Sifuna to Babu. They're not of the same class. Sifuna actually went to school properly. He did not steal and did not threaten teachers to give him marks. Babu did.
Okay. All right. Let's come back to Nairobi. Floods are happening. People are actually blaming Sakaja for the floods that are currently happening in Nairobi. But we've seen even Brazil, there's very serious floods.
No, I don't think that is the issue. I don't think the issue, it's almost like saying we have unemployment, we have poverty, but there are poverty even in the United States. No, that's not how you deal with issues.
Okay.
We are Kenyans. We live in Kenya. We live in Nairobi. We are having issues in Nairobi. What is it that a governor ought to have done that would have mitigated the problems? You understand?
Okay.
So, for example, 1 year is a long time. You can build storm sewer systems. You can build drainage systems. You can clean the city in 1 year. You can put in place infrastructural plans to deal with problems we've always had for the last 60 years. Has he done any of that? No. The money that he's been collecting, the money that the national government has given as required under the Constitution to Nairobi, where has it gone? Not 1 shilling for development. Not 1 shilling for employment. Not 1 shilling for industrialization. Not 1 shilling for infrastructure development. Not 1 shilling for health care. Not 1 shilling for education. So what is it that he's done with the money? These are questions. So you can't just say, Brazil, there is flooding. No. We want to know what you've done in Nairobi. The riparian lands, wetlands, that are occupied, that were grabbed before, has he tried to repossess even at 0.0001%? No. Instead, he's grabbing. So no, Sakaja is a criminal, a bad one. And what is he doing about these constructions that are being done all over by Chinese, unplanned, disorganized, unnecessary, tall buildings that are being constructed, clearly in violation of planning bylaws. Why? Because he's getting kickbacks. Every city in the world must have a planning protocol for the development of the cities, all the cities. It cannot be that you are saying all we need to do is go up. There has to be a limit of up. And once that limit is there, it has to be enforced across the board. All these residential areas where it's just building concrete without recreational spaces. I mean, it's completely unhealthy and it's insane. Because in all cities of the world, the law is that whoever constructs concrete to a certain height, and that height is clearly imposed by law or bylaw, must have green space, must have recreational facilities, must have cycling lanes, must have things that make a community or a neighborhood livable. So people can breathe fresh air, children can play, people can walk, people can exercise. That's not happening in the city. And look what he was saying he was going to do at Uhuru Park. He wants to build a pub, isn't it? A club. Because he drinks.
Inside the Uhuru Park.
Yeah. Uhuru Park was supposed to be a green space, a recreational park.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a concrete jungle.
But he's removing the clubs from the estates. That's what he said. So he's bringing them in a central
Who
place.
told him?
So what wakuja wapige kelele huko?
My friend, first of all, a governor cannot dictate to people what to do about their city. Right? In accountable governance, the people make that decision for themselves through their elected leaders. If you want this thing to go through, if you are insisting that these things are good for the city, have town hall meetings, gauge the opinion of the citizenry. Have these opinions go before the council through their MCAs. Debate it in the assembly. Have it passed. Then you can say, I'm going to source for funds to do this. But Sakaja, as incompetent as he is, he thinks he's a genius, he's Einstein. He can stand somewhere and say, this is what is good for you. Who gave him that authority? He does not have authority to tell me what we should be doing with the Uhuru Park. I know, as a man who has traveled, as a man who has lived abroad, that we don't even have parks. This Uhuru Park is not even a park anymore. It's a concrete jungle. We need to make it a park. You see that lake, that artificial lake they have?
Yeah.
It should be a nice place where over the weekend you can take your children and enjoy this space. We should have birds and animals and green spaces and remove all the concrete. Then it is a park. Then we should be able to restore all the parks that have been grabbed. That's what I would do if I was governor. Let all the neighborhoods have parks and recreational centers. The rule across the world for most of the places that are developed, you cut down one tree, you plant 15. Yeah.
Haikwangi tu.
15. And in developed countries, if you are a developer, you must plant trees, you must have recreational centers, you must have all these facilities for the residents where you are constructing. The Chinese here are constructing without regard to anything. Because for them it's extraction. My friend, you can only extract so much. After some point, it becomes madness. And what I see in this city is insanity. It's not order. It's not development.
The solution for, we also in Nairobi, we have a main problem for traffic. There's a solution that came, they put a couple of drums. You remember the time they were doing away with the roundabouts and everything? And in your manifesto, you have spoken about the train.
The transit system.
Yes.
A modern transit system where you have a subway system, you have a rapid transit system, you have real transportation arteries. Then you also have to have, as I said, a system of managing the environment, right? Having garbage collected, recycled, and just having cleanliness in the city. Having a sewer system that actually works. We don't have a sewer system. We don't have a garbage management system. There is none. They take garbage and they dump it in dump sites, right?
Yeah.
Where people live. In fact, there is nothing public that manages the environment in Nairobi County, that manages sanitation and cleanliness in Nairobi County. There is no transportation system in Nairobi County. In Toronto, for example, I can give you, there is something called Toronto Transit System, TTC. It runs trains, it runs buses, it runs trams, and it runs a system for even transporting people who have disability. People with disability or senior citizens just have to call, and a vehicle comes where you live and takes you to hospital. You don't have to go to the road. It comes where you live. Public funds from the taxes, they don't pay anything. Now look at this, you know, and here we tax more than they tax in Canada. Healthcare system, for example, in Canada is completely free in terms of people pay taxes, but after that, you can see any doctor you want and you don't pay anything. The only thing you pay is prescription drugs if you have to go to the pharmacy to buy drugs, which for disabled and people who are senior is also discounted through the government, through the taxes. So tax works. But here, where do our taxes go? Atwoli is flying 3 planes with them, right? The pension system, where does it go? People tell you go take NHIF card, but when your wife is delivering a child, they can't even be admitted at Kenyatta. And if they are admitted at a private clinic, I was told just yesterday by one of my relatives, he had to pay for that too, and yet he has a card for which he has already paid. So what kind of system is this? So we have a messed up system. It's really barbaric, both at the national and the county level. The most unfortunate part of it, nobody's talking about it. And these people, who are, some of them are in positions of power, are people who studied abroad, who have lived abroad, who have worked abroad, whose children are staying, working, and studying abroad. So they are not completely ignorant. The only thing that they are doing is that because their children are not going to these things, through these problems, they don't care. When their wives want to deliver, they take them to London. When they are sick, they go to India. Right? And when their children are going to university, they take them to foreign universities. And then they come back here to be on top of you.
So basically it's the ostrich situation. Head in the sand, whatever happens, happens, it's not affecting me, let's roll. We know in Nairobi, as a county, we have a lot of cartels. Do you believe if you were elected, you would have managed to handle them?
They would run away before I am sworn in. So I don't even have to handle them. They would just run away on their own. They would just take off and run, my friend. They know. They would not wait for me. That's number one. They would not wait for me.
And you wouldn't change, because we have people who come with manifestos like this.
My friend.
Wanaingia hivi unasikia.
Okay, so let me ask you. I give people very simple examples. I was the Prime Minister's advisor. How come I didn't change? The people around me changed. They all started doing deals. How come I didn't do deals? And if I did deals, would I be in prison? This time they were taking me to Canada. Don't you think they would have taken me to committee? Do you think they would have lacked something for which to take me to court legitimately? Seriously. that the only solution they felt was to make up stories and say he's not a Kenyan. I mean, they charge everybody, right? So how come they never charged me? People made noise about my house. My house is still there. I renovated it. I'm in it. Because I built it before I even came back. Not with one loan, from my hard-earned shilling. So if I had acquired anything illegitimate, my friend, it will be all over social media. And nowadays they discover everything, right?
So they never try to buy you out?
No, they
Maybe
try,
not
but they
money
can't. They can't.
Why can't they? Pesa ni kidogo.
No.
Ama integrity ni mingi.
I can't be bought.
So someone has
So they
brought money
just
to
give
you,
up. No, they just give up.
or they know, don't try.
They don't
Rather
even
to
try. They don't even try. Because they know the answer.
Okay.
You see, a lot of times, people give them signals that they're ready to be bought. They go to their offices begging for things. So they know this one is easy to buy. Me, I leave the office, I go home. I eat and I sleep and I go to work. And I don't go to bars. You see, in the bars is where you can tell also the weak ones.
Yeah,
They send them slay queens.
The comments about Miguna for governor, Miguna for governor.
My friend.
When you guys had an opportunity to vote, did you?
No. But actually, I don't blame the country. I don't blame the voters.
Okay.
A lot of the election was messed up also. I have people who went to vote. Some of them I know personally. They come, a group of them, and say, look, we went to vote. We were at this polling station. 25 of us voted. But when they counted the votes and announced them, they said only 2 voted. So where are the rest? That happened a lot. Number 2, the media, the one I call Githeri media, plastered everywhere with Sonko stops Nairobi, whatever. So people get confused because of what the media is doing. They run negative stories about you. They promote the wrong candidates, right? They tell people he's the one who knows how to manage, or he's street smart. They call a thug street smart. And they call a legitimate person not ready. I don't know what readiness means. So the media failed us, the system failed us, IBC failed us. The public became a victim just like I am, right? So I don't blame the public. When the right time comes and the right circumstances are there, the public always does the right thing. If the public was not doing the right thing, Raila would not have won in 2007. And he did, against a sitting president. Kibaki would not have won in 2002, against Moi. So I think the Kenyan public is always there. They are always in the right space. These institutions are messing them. And this is where we should pay attention. So for me, the public is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever thought of running for president? Because if
anybody with ambition has to think about running for president. No. So I would be lying to say I've not thought.
Okay.
Of course I have.
All right.
And I can tell you that if I was in President Ruto's position, I think I would have done better than him as of now. I think so.
Okay.
There are too many. I mean, Linturi would be gone, for example. Moses Kuria would not be making noise all over the country.
Pause for a minute.
No, I'm just saying.
No, before you talk about President, let's finish with Nairobi Kwanza.
No, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that there are things that are so obvious.
Yes. Now, what I was talking
And
about
the reason why they are not
presidency-
being done, you have to ask, why is Linturi still peeing all over the country?
Okay, I want us to talk about the presidency and the economy as a whole. Hiyo tunamaliza, that's where we're going next. The last question about Nairobi and Sakaja. What do you think of Sakaja's school feeding program?
If the people of Nairobi had employment and had livable wages, they would not need anybody to feed their children. Okay. This is just a racket, like Moi said, he's going to supply milk and he's stealing through the milk program. This is a conduit for theft.
Moi was stealing through the milk program?
Of course.
Maziwa ya Nyayo?
Yeah.
Then what we enjoy that milk?
He stole billions through Maziwa ya Nyayo. So, let me ask you, where was it being sourced, Maziwa? You don't know? How much was being sourced? You don't know. How much was given to children? You don't know. So how would you know that he did not steal? Because for you to know somebody did not steal, you must say 500,000 was produced, 500,000 was given to kids, nothing was misappropriated.
Wow.
But you could have put on the book records that you produced 5 million and only 500,000 was given to children. It was a big racket. But as long as the children were drinking, they thought everything was okay.
We thought, I've been thinking that all along. I mean, you should come back, you know. You should drink milk in school.
No.
Wow.
My friend, we didn't drink maziwa ya Nyayo and we didn't miss it. Because we were able to be fed. If you are able to be fed at home, you don't need anybody giving you maziwa. Why? If you can drink maziwa at home.
Hey.
Even right now, don't you have food at home?
We have food.
So do you need to go to somebody's place to drink drink tea or milk or take
Lunch.
food? No. You take it at home and go to work.
I never saw it in that direction. So Maziwa
Everything Moi did, he had a cut. Yeah. All rackets.
I wonder. Now let's talk about the government fully. Is it functional? Do you believe the president can do better? Do you believe, you've mentioned Linturi and the rest, who are the people that are feeling? If you were president, you could have done away with very fast and then now you could align.
First of all, my friend, UDA came to power on a platform. They had a manifesto. They need to implement it without excuses. Okay?
Okay.
One of the big things that they promised the country is that they were going to audit the Uhuru government and they were going to have an independent judicial inquiry of all the bad things that Uhuru had done in the previous administration, right? Where is it? It doesn't take 2 years to set up a judicial inquiry, right? So that's number one.
Do the manifesto.
Yeah. First, actually that's number two. First, implement your manifesto.
Implement the manifesto.
Do what you said to the country we are going to do.
Okay.
Two, some of these low-hanging fruits that you're supposed to do, like the judicial inquiry, okay, of state capture, for example.
Yeah.
Do it. Some of the things that came up just before Uhuru went was the Pandora's box, the scandal involving his family.
Pandora's papers.
Pandora's papers,
Yeah, Pandora papers.
regarding the amount of money
stashed
that's
abroad.
stashed abroad.
Yeah.
Okay? Before that, there were other scandals. Do the bare minimum. Restore these things. Because the investigation has already been done and the evidence is in
It's there.
and we know the amounts. Okay? Number three, appoint only qualified Kenyans to positions of responsibility. Qualified Kenyans from all ethnic groups and the two gender, male and female. Balance things. There are too many Kikuyus and Kalenjins in this government, in cabinet, in principal secretary's position, in chairman of leading or chairpersons of leading corporations, and CEOs. That needs to be said. Enough of that. We are tired of it. You need to bring equity to the country. Let all parts of the country feel like they are part of Kenya. Let the taxpayers' money be invested in all parts of Kenya. That's very important.
Yeah.
Stop destroying people's homes if you have no alternative places to take them. Have places to take them, then I support the eradication of slums, personally. I think we shouldn't have slums. So when the president says, at the end of my presidency, there will be no slums, I say hooray, but I need to see a concrete plan towards that. It should not be just talking, right? Because if that had been there would be nobody dying in Mathare. We would not be touring Mathare to visit how badly people are off. And this is where I disagree with Raila Odinga again. He's talking as if he was not in power himself for the last 10 years. He was prime minister for 5 years. Then he was with Uhuru for 5 years. Whether he joined formally or not, he was with Uhuru in a coalition government under the handshake. What did they do? So don't talk like you've not been there. And when we look at the counties that his party controls, which is half of the country, they are being mismanaged just like Sakaja is mismanaging Nairobi. And in fact, in Nairobi, it's Raila now propping up Sakaja. UDA does not want Sakaja anymore. It's Raila's MCAs, the majority of them in Nairobi, who cannot impeach Sakaja because he pays Raila 200 million. He said himself, in writing he said, that he's paid Raila 200 million. Sakaja himself said. And Raila has not contradicted him. So for 200 million, you are saying 5 to 6 or 8 million Nairobians should suffer. What kind of a leader are you? These are the issues. If they were able to address these issues, if he was able to stop extrajudicial killings, because they're still continuing, people are still disappearing. He said they would not disappear after Uhuru Kenyatta. But we saw how brutal this police force was when Raila was organizing his maandamano. There was no reason to kill anybody. I mean, for me, I would go to sleep and let them demonstrate until cows come home. They would not disrupt anything, but demonstration, they can demonstrate every day of the week, and it wouldn't bother me. There is no reason why police go from home to home, taking people from where they reside and killing them. Those things should be things of the past. If President Ruto did this, he would be very successful and I would support his re-election. But he must do them.
Okay.
Linturi should not be walking free, as I said. This Moses Kuria does not deserve to be head of a chicken feed in my village. All right? He should be as far away from public office as Mwenje. God rest his soul in peace. David Mwenje, the one who was running around here fighting with Otieno Kajwang in the city. That is Moses Kuria. He has no ability to be a leader. Namuchicha is not a leader, should not be in health. And there are many of them that the only qualification they have is political expediency. And that is wrong. We have so many qualified, competent, ethical Kenyans to occupy those positions. So you see, I speak it as I see it. So those who think, oh, Miguna supported this, yes, I supported William Ruto. I voted for him. But that is not a license to do anything you want. Miguna is a very active citizen. I believe in the rule of law. And I believe that all leaders must be accountable to the voters. That once I vote for you, if you don't do what I voted you for, I have a duty to tell you that you are doing the wrong thing. If I don't do that, then I've failed in my duty as a citizen.
Have to hold you accountable.
I, for one, will not fail. I will say it as I see it.
Wait. There's this theory about changing term limits. You've had the rumor.
That's nonsense. It should not even be a dream. It is seriously being considered, and I am telling William Ruto, don't.
Oh, wow.
Anytime you see any of these busybodies running with these things to Parliament, you must know that somebody told them, go test it. And I'm saying it is a terrible nightmare. If they bring it, I would be the first to declare an opposition to that constitutional change, and I would win. I would oppose it right off the top. It will not pass. We need to implement the Constitution first, all aspects of it. And then after we have done that, if there are any areas to be restructured, let the citizens be the ones doing it. Not somebody who is going to gain directly from it. He serves 10 years. If he has to be elected the second time, home. If the Kenyans decide not to elect him again, home.
People are thinking maybe after 10 years, Gachagua will step in there.
There's no automatic succession. Everybody must line up and struggle with others.
Lazima ujipange.
Yeah. There's no automatic succession.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
There you have it from the general. Do you have any important question? Because I'm sure I'll just say the questions. We have 9.2 thousand people watching this live. Thank you so much. And thank you for staying with us all through. Asanteni sana. If you're watching this show and you have not subscribed, see you are live. Just subscribe. You don't lose anything. That's the only tap the screen that we're asking for you. And we can do it together in 3, 2, 1. Just tap subscribe. Thank you so much. So if you have any important question that you need to ask, shoot it now so that I can also convey it. They're asking about the doctor strike. That is Annie. What's your take on it?
I support the doctor strike. I think it is a pity that doctors have to beg for something that they deserve.
Okay.
There is nowhere else in the world where someone who has gone to medical school for 5, 6, 7 years should be paid 70,000. Nowhere in the world. Interns are doctors. They have a medical degree. They're just waiting for their license. But in all hospitals, they're the ones who are delivering your children. They're the ones who are doing the diagnosis. They're the ones who are doing everything except major things.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why they should be paid pittance when these half-educated morons in Parliament are getting over $1 million. No reason. There is nowhere else in the world where morons in Parliament are getting more than doctors. So this is terrible.
Okay.
I support the doctor strike 101%.
Okay.
Yeah.
General Ogola, a lot of people, Cecilia Wairimu, the Kamba Benga TV, they're asking General Ogola. A lot of people have theories around it.
Yeah. So what about General Ogola?
What's your take? Was he killed? Was he?
No, I mean, it would be responsible for me to declare that General Ogola was killed when I have not done an investigation and conclusively determined that he was killed.
Okay.
But his death is shrouded in mystery. And a lot of people like me do not want the rush and the muzzling tendencies that we saw at the funeral and surrounding his burial. His children spoke a bunch of rubbish. That boy does not know what he was talking about. Joel, his son. Complete rubbish. You know? You cannot say, and this one speaking even as a Luo, you cannot say there is any Luo man who says, bury me within 72 hours, bury me naked, don't eat at my funeral. What rubbish is that? Where was this boy raised? He has no authority to speak about the burial of his father, traditionally. He should have kept quiet and gone back to Nairobi. Yeah. And there is no way that as a son you can rule your father's death as accidental. Was he there? Let this thing be investigated professionally. I don't like the fact that the military are investigating it. Because what if he was killed by a fellow military man? What if his deputy killed him? What if other military people killed him? What if the thugs killed him and the military want to cover it? All these questions, there should be no question that cannot be asked. We need to ask all the questions.
And they all need answers.
And they all need answers.
That are verifiable.
Correct. So there is absolutely no issue. I cannot say to anybody, even my enemy, that they die under the circumstances that General Ogola died and that nobody should ask questions. This silly thing that, oh, asking questions will not bring him back to life. What nonsense is that? It will prevent another death if it was caused. You understand? Or if it was negligence, we would be able to prevent another negligent death. Why not?
Sure.
A human being is not a dog. They cannot die just like that. And generals do not just fall from the air.
That's also true.
So we have to ask about all these questions because a CDF is secured just like a president. Where was the evacuation team? Where was the evacuation strategy? Where was the rescue strategy? Where were the escort planes or helicopters? Do you understand my point? So why should we not ask them? If in fact, as people are speculating, the plane or the helicopter was changed in the morning, who did? Ultimately, who gained out of the death?
The motive.
Very important.
Motive.
President Ruto did not gain because it is him some people are accusing. So he didn't gain, right? But somebody did. Who is it?
There you have it, from the general himself. They're also asking what's your take on the housing levy. Cecilia Wairimu, we have Douglas Masinde, Jacqueline Joroge, Kasim Ilambua, housing levy.
If the housing levy was processed properly and transparently through public engagement, I would support it. If there was no monkey business in it, if it was being transparently done and accountably done, I would support it because I want housing for everyone, decent housing for everyone. But it's being rushed like mad and shrouded in mystery. And for me, anything shrouded in mystery, I reject because it is not transparent. But not because of the reasons other people are using. Other people are saying, oh, why are you saying we need a house when I don't need it? Why are you forcing me to pay for something I don't need? Those are the wrong critics. People with money should be able to pay for those without in properly managed economies. If I have money, I should be able to be taxed to help the homeless. I should not be asking, I have a house, I have a job, I'm okay. Why are you taking money from me to help somebody in Kebra? We should be taking money from you to help people in Kebra. So there they are wrong.
Okay.
The more abled should be helping the less abled.
Okay. We've seen with the rains, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is turning into Jomo Kenyatta International Aquarium. There's a lot that is happening. It's leaking. The cold rooms are flooding. What's your take on it?
Well, it's basically corruption. And it's not new corruption, it's old corruption.
Okay.
Because you see, a lot of people are blaming Murkomen. But really, if you ask the real question, the roof was constructed when Murkomen was not minister.
Okay.
All these things leaking were probably leaking before Murkomen was minister and have been leaking because of problems, structural and otherwise, quality-wise, which were already in existence. So maybe the blame should be, why didn't you detect it or your team detect it? What did you do after detecting that there were leakages and whatnot? He wouldn't have detected until it started raining, right? So you have to give him a little bit of a slack. Okay. But it is corruption, which should be addressed. Who was given the contract? All right? And if the person who was given the contract failed to secure the facility the way it is now apparent they failed, that person should be brought back to correct all the things, the defects that are there, number one.
Oh, wow.
or get back the money that you paid them.
Okay, yeah.
Secondly, there is no facility that is not insured. I don't know why every time something happens like that, people say, oh, we are going to spend this. Why? All these things are insured. The insurance company should be correcting these things. That's why you pay insurance.
That's true.
So there is no building which is not insured. Otherwise, people should not be in them. Because anything that is not insured should be condemned. Nobody should either have offices or living in them. So if the airport is insured, who is the insurance company? What's the name of the insurance company? Right? And why haven't they coughed up the money to repair the damage? And then they can go after the contractor. Right? How come nobody has been taken to court by the government? Right? So these are the questions I would be asking. And what is it that they're doing new to correct all these problems so that we are sure these things will not happen again? But as to swimming pool and whatnot, Dubai was a swimming pool too. Right? Just the other day.
Yeah.
So we want to be balanced in our criticisms. There are places they have failed, we should be able to identify them. There are places they have not failed, we should not be able to say they have failed where they have not.
There's something that I've always thought about that. Let me just throw a spanner in the works. This one now is very separate conversation. The police. The police housing, the police payment, and also the police hiring mechanism. The one for we have to run, and then they look at the teeth, then they look at the shape of the leg, then you have to have gotten a certain pass in the exams, then you have to live in this roundhouse, then you have to follow orders without questioning even if it's a wrong order, then nearly all police stations look inhabitable. You just look at them, you're like, come on, man. Let's do the police justice, even just a heater or a mosquito something. Like, they look dangerous. And these are our fathers, brothers, sisters who work here. What is your take on the way the police are being handled?
I don't think it's just the police only, Obinna.
Yeah.
I think it is the entire society.
Okay.
We are callous right now as a society. I don't think we care about each other. The teachers are the same. They don't treat teachers well, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
You've seen they don't teach doctors well. They don't treat even security guards well. We don't even have an emergency system. We don't have a firefighting or a fire department. We don't have so many things. I will get back to the police, but I'm saying as a society, we have become callous, inhumane, and just barbaric as a society. Only the political, they call it political class, but I don't want to use class because class in terms of philosophy, political economy, has a definition. But let's call for lack of definition, political class. They're the only ones well taken care of, really. Everybody else, and probably bankers. But the rest of the population is very poorly treated. Look at the lecturers. People who went to university and got PhD, genuine PhDs, not these fake ones. The ones who do research, are doing serious, research and scholarly work. They are paid nothing. So everybody is leaving the university to go become MCAs. My friend, the society is collapsing. This idea that everybody must do maths and science is bullshit. I'm sorry to use the word bullshit. Because you need creativity. You need innovation. You need art. You need music. You need poetry to be complementary to science. Without creativity, art, and these other things, you don't have a society with a soul, right? It's almost like saying let's destroy all the churches because religion is nonsense. Because how come they are saying art is nonsense, but they go to church and they read the Bible, which is not art, which is not science, which is not math? Because they think when you go to church, they can numb your brain and make religion be the opium so that you are intoxicated by waiting for Jesus and not thinking about these things that they are doing wrong here on earth. They know that a literature student questions, reads widely, and critiques. They know that a history major reads about history and mistakes and things that have happened, and they don't want that. They know that somebody who has studied political science will ask the ugly questions that must be asked on governance. They know that lawyers are interrogators and they don't want to be interrogated. So they would rather somebody squatting in a lab who is antisocial, because a lot of these people studying science are not very social, going back and maybe just drinking alcohol, and the society can be controlled. Because people who are doing maths and science are not very communicative. That's the kind of people they want. They want to create a robotic society. That cannot be healthy. We want to oppose it and must oppose it. We want a lot of creativity and innovation, and we want a lot of music and poetry. We want people who are entertaining and comedians like yourself. That's what a society is.
So I take it you support CBC because it encompasses all that.
No.
It doesn't?
CBC is make-believe. It's not real education. These children are not learning anything. They just buy things and whatnot. CBC is not education. It's almost like 844 when they introduced it. Oloa Ringo went to school in Canada. So he came back with the Canadian system and he thought he could just supplant it without foundation. That was 844. It didn't work here, but it works in Canada. Because you can't just, it's not like a tumor where you go into the body and take it out. No. You need to bring it organically into a society. Let the people accept it. Let it be brought with quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Why would you force somebody who wants to go to study law that they must pass physics? There's no reason. If they are good in physics, that's good. But you can't tell him that this is a qualification for law. It isn't all over the world. Right? Or everybody must pass math. Why? Why must everybody pass maths? You do it if you can pass, yes. But if you're going to do something else that does not require math, by all means go and do it. I am for holistic learning, not learning by rote, where people just cram, and then at the end of the day they pass an exam, not because they understood the subject, just because I crammed it. You know, like you go to Japan or some other countries, they just cram, and they pass. And all people look at is the final result. The final result is nothing. For people who went to school like me, here in Kenya before the 844, the students who came from Alliance with Ace, we beat them at the university. Easy. The fact that you came with all A's doesn't mean you're going to do well at the university. The same way, the students that did CPE during our time, some of them got 27 points and went to secondary school. Some people got 36 points and went to secondary school. 36 points was the maximum, right?
Yeah.
Then somebody came with 19. This 19 guy beats you at O levels. Because maybe when he did the exam, he was sick, he was having family problems, His father was divorcing with the mother. He was hungry. There could be so many things that lead to this 19 as opposed to 36. So we cannot be just focused on the final grade. But right now, this so-called, you are calling it CB?
CBC.
That CBC is rot.
Competency-based curriculum.
It is not competency. Yeah? It's rot-based curriculum.
RBC, baby.
Yes. Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is rot. Children, little children. Why are you oppressing a standard 3 kid who should be playing, getting their hands dirty, running around the neighborhood, singing rubbish, and then going to sleep? There's nothing you are teaching this kid. There's nothing.
But the thing is a way of making the parents help the teachers to teach the kid at home,
My friend,
at school. Nini.
the parents end up doing everything, and this kid is learning nothing. The parents now are competing which kid does well, but it is the parents competing against each other.
That part is true.
Yeah. And then the parents with more money probably end up having their children do better because they can buy better things, they can hire tutors and what. It's rubbish. There's no learning here.
Okay.
The way we learned was the best. I played and then I went to school and then you tested us. All of us were playing. All of us were malingering. And then you you tested the malingerers and the best malingerer passed. That's the best system.
So the Achilles inborn is over a period
So
of time.
the brain grows naturally at its pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best malingerer. The police.
Yeah. The police, yeah, they're poorly treated.
Okay.
Yeah. And because of that, I think now corruption
I think that's why it's
becomes a
very
natural
prevalent.
tendency.
Yeah.
Not to justify it, but to look at critically. I mean, really, they don't have homes. Those are not homes.
Yeah.
If somebody puts you there and the other couple is on the other side and you can hear everything, there's not even no privacy, no dignity, nothing. These people are reduced to nothing. And some of these people are guarding the VIPs.
True.
They go to the VIPs' mansions in Karen and Mutaiga and all these places. Then they go to their shack. How do you think they feel? You know? So I agree with you. The society has to change, but it has to start with the leadership at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the bottom here will not be able to change it unless it is a revolution. Unless they're joining me to revolutionize the whole thing.
You saw the police were taken to Haiti.
No, they have not been taken.
No, there was a story that they're going to be taken to Haiti.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
The other major story that I would like to get your opinion on is the blackout in the country.
Yeah, that's
Even at the moment, there's a major blackout going on now.
It's incompetence. And in many countries, people would have already been fired from the minister going down of energy. So, and they're not explaining why.
Yeah.
The other day, I traveled from Eldoret. I arrive home like this, blackout. My phone is dead. I can't do anything. I had things that I needed to do. I can't use my computer. There's no internet. I mean, it's just a mess. So imagine there are people who rely on that power to run an industry.
That's true.
How do you then...
Perishable goods as well.
Correct. Yeah, so
hospitals,
no. Hospitals, people who are on...
ICUs.
Yes.
Wow.
You see?
It's...
So do you know they don't tell us how many people died because of the power shortage?
Yeah, they don't.
At the ICU.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think we've come to an end, eh?
Yeah. That's the moment.
Yes.
Hey, yeah. Sam, get me the winners so I can give some people some money courtesy of Candy Cash as we wrap up. People are wondering why you block people on X, on Twitter.
Oh, that I can answer.
Yeah.
You see, like now we've had a good conversation.
Yes.
If I go on X now and somebody just insults me and is not dealing with the issues we've dealt with, why should I engage them? That's a person who should just be blocked. They're not interested in discussing ideas. They're not interested in interrogating my ideas. They are not interested in sharing their ideas. They are interested to just abuse me for whatever reason. Or just come here to disrupt or distract. So what do you do with such a person? You see, if you start arguing with him, you are also helping him distract from what we have been discussing.
True.
And we have discussed very important things.
True.
You could take any of the things we've discussed and you can also start your own, go to your own handle. And why are they coming to mine to be able to pee on it? So for me, when I see that, block.
I actually agree with you. I also have the same mentality. When some people come with negativity, you're like, you're not listening.
You're
We've
not
had a
adding
long
value.
conversation. Why are you just coming just instant?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
okay, let me block you. Let's not engage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it would be different if I held public office. This is the distinction.
Okay.
If you hold public office, your Twitter handle is a public handle because you hold public office.
Okay.
There's no in between. So people who hold public office should not block anyone, even when they're insulting you.
Oh.
If today I hold public office, I'll unblock everybody. Because everybody, including the ones who are abusing me, deserve to abuse me if that is all they feel they should do, because I occupy public office. If I don't want to be abused, I should resign. Okay? But I'm a private citizen. I don't have to tolerate you. You see, I don't work for you.
Yeah.
You don't pay me. So I can block you.
Hatujuani.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it. That was the general himself. Just before I let him go, in case there's one last burning question I will ask him. But for now, allow me to award 2 people with 1,000 bob each, courtesy of Candy Crush. If you have not downloaded it, kindly do so. It is a game. Candy Crush, yes, but now this is Candy Crush with a K. You download it, the link is on the description, and then you get to play a game with your friends. It is not gambling, it is not betting. And like I said, if you download it, and then you come and comment below, just put the hashtag there, Candy Cash, then you put your name. I'm going to award 2 people. And the winners for this particular episode is Shari K and Victor Anjiri. Shari K and Victor Anjiri. Kindly just do me an email on tvobinna@gmail.com. Send me the screenshot of the game that you've downloaded on your phone and your name, your ID, and your phone number. And then we'll send you your money. Generally, thank you so much for coming through. We've had an upside of 10,000 people watching live. And asanteni sana pia kwa kuwatch and for the engagement. Na maswali mnakuja. Oh, this other question that you guys are asking, watch the interview. Yes, we've spoken about Raila's AU job. We've spoken about everybody. So rewatch it. LGBTQ. What about LGBTQ? When just write LGBTQ. Hello? Yeah. So you've spoken about all these other questions that you bring Eric Omondi. Oh, wow. Eric Omondi to run for office. He's doing an initiative called Sisi Kwa Sisi, where when someone is going through something, he comes out, asks for donation. People
No
help.
comment.
No comment. Okay, there you go. Oh, they ask you what's your comment on LGBTQ.
No comment also,
comment
because
on that
it's
one.
not relevant to our discussion.
There you have it. And what a way to end the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Obinna.
Thank you for honoring the
Thank you.
invite.
Thank you.
Asante.
Yes.
I'll continue respecting you because you speak from facts. And myself and my brothers, we call you encyclopedia. Unakuanga na date, time, na title. Hata leo umesema, in 1940. Yes. So keep doing that. I have a lot of friends who speak generally. Mimi si ulisikia, si alisema, si uli. Wogola, huyu alisema hivi na hivi. Keep doing that. Good work. And if you have not listened and understood,
They can go and re-listen.
Re-watch it again so you can re-listen. I'm going to see you guys in a short while because we still have 3 more guests to go. Manziwa Kibera is here. Cheryl Gabriela. Cheryl, for Kabugi, Cheryl is in the building. And also we have another guest all the way from Nigeria. She's an international dancer. We're going to be having a conversation with them in a short while. See you in a bit. Good night. God bless.